The Vancouver Whitecaps began their 2025 Audi MLS Cup campaign with an absolute scorcher against FC Dallas, the very same FC Dallas that they fell to on the final match of the regular season. They dusted themselves off, came back, and provided a blanketing and emphatic 3-0 victory, setting some records along the way. Daniel Rios, Thomas Muller, and Kenji Cabrera all scoring goals in Game 1 of their opening round of the MLS Cup postseason. You think about the turnaround from this team, and you can call it blips. Of course, there's always, it seems, some kind of controversy with officiating in Vancouver, especially when Tim Ford has a whistle, but I digress. Today, no excuses, or yesterday, no excuses. Today, they think about how comfortably ahead they are in this tie. Oliver Platt, what stood out to you from Vancouver's turnaround from the end of the regular season to the start of the playoffs?
Just the level of domination that they had in that game. It looked like a big team against a much smaller team. And sometimes you've gone into the playoffs and the Whitecaps have come up against an LAFC or whoever it's been, and you've kind of felt they've been on the other side of that equation, the underdog trying to cause an upset. Now they look like a team that was just on a different level, a different class from the opponents they were facing. And they have, the best player on the pitch and maybe right up there with Messi, the best player in MLS, and Thomas Muller on a different level again, just makes everyone around him so much better, and was spectacular on the night as well. So I just keep coming back, as we did in their Champions Cup run, to the way in which injuries just don't seem to impact this team to a crazy extent. Like, thinking back to the last couple of years, that there's maybe been no team in MLS that was more reliant on that 1-2 punch than the Whitecaps were with Brian White and Ryan Gold. And Brian White's not there, still injured, and Ryan Gold is kind of there playing very limited minutes as he still recovers from injury. And it's like they're even better, like nothing's happened. And obviously there's reasons for that with Muller and Sabi and all of these different players coming in. But it would have been unthinkable to say that a year ago about how good they are without those two players making, big contributions in a game like this. So incredibly impressive, great atmosphere and crowd as well. A really good night for the Whitecaps and a great start to the playoffs.
They are incredible. I give all the credit in the world to Jesper Sorensen. That's why I voted yes for Jesper, by the way, because this team, tactically, players come in, players go out, they play together. The system, like, he is the best manager in Major League Soccer right now, and that's by some margin. And in how high esteem I hold individuals like Greg Vanny and others across the league. But what Sorensen has done with this team is nothing short of incredible. I mean, he hasn't even been in charge for a whole year yet. And now in the first round of a playoff game where you're playing a decent, not a great, but a decent FC Dallas side. What were the statistics? 20 shots to 1? FC Dallas didn't have a shot on target in this game. And you do that with Ralph Priso playing center back, with a rookie in Tate Johnson playing left back. It's just amazing to me that players come in, players come out, and they never skip a beat. Also, they've had a little bit of a formation change. Once they sold Pedro Vite during the season, they went back to playing 2-6s. And right now, Berhalter and Kubas control every game they're playing in. And remember the short-lived conversation? Well, how's Thomas Muller going to fit in? Like, where's he going to play? Well, pretty damn well. Like, it's been seamless. It's just whatever they do, it's seamless. They're deep. I look at the players that came up, like JC Ngando, like, not seeing the pitch. He's had a really good season for the Whitecaps. So I said it entering the MLS Cup playoffs. They're my odds-on betting favorite, even though they're only third or fourth in terms of the odds makers' favorites to win MLS Cup. They're the most complete team. I think they're the deepest. They're the most well-managed. It's just about getting the job done. That's all the positive stuff. The negative is that this playoff format is so stupid that you can win this game 3-0, 10-0, it doesn't matter. You need to win 2 games out of 3, right? Like, without aggregate, it kind of makes like all these statistics that we turn to, like FC Dallas didn't have a shot, had 1 shot all game. Like, FC Dallas kind of threw in the towel late in that game, and it really didn't matter. in the end, right? Like, it was game over. Let's look to game 2. Like, it's not it's not a very soccer thing to do, but that's where we are right now. But other than that minor detail, it was a great night for the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Ollie, are you equally as bullish on their chances? Does one game, one performance like this make you more optimistic of their chances to do something special here? Or is it one game against an inferior opponent and it doesn't really sway you too much?
No, I am more bullish because I'll be honest, like I expressed some doubts about just how many injuries they're still dealing with coming into this time of year. Like, it's been a long, long season for them, longer than most, obviously, having started in the Champions Cup. And yet they just continue to play in a way where it does not seem to matter, like I said before. I want to add as well that, like, I really like the way this team plays football.
Yes.
And I watch quite a lot of football these days that I don't really enjoy that much. A lot of kind of, low risk set pieces kind of stuff. They are a team that is really comfortable on the ball and likes having the ball, but is not possession for possession's sake. They play direct when they can with their wingers. The combination play, the movement is excellent. Like, just a lot of simple things they do well that creates a really attractive soccer team. So it's the manner in which they do it, as well as the kind of effectiveness that, really sells you that this team could do something special this year.
Yeah. The only item, a couple things to look out for as we potentially look ahead. And generally you don't like to do that, but here we are. LAFC, a very good team. It's kind of been the bogey team over the years. I mean, that's been well documented. We also have an international window upcoming as well. And injuries while away on international duty are some of the reasons, probably the biggest reason why the Vancouver Whitecaps didn't win Supporter Shield. So Ali Ahmed, Jaden Nelson, I mean, there's others who play for other countries. If I'm Sorensen, like, I want to keep my players with me throughout that international window, especially if you're on an MLS Cup run here. Like, it's kind of a tenuous time, right? But can you deny the players the opportunity to go play friendlies with the respective nations at that point? But the international window, that just naturally would make me nervous if I was a Whitecaps fan. And if I'm part of that club, Schuster, Sorensen, I'm fighting tooth and nail to keep the teams in Vancouver. You're staying in the Pacific Northwest over the course of that span of time.
LAFC and Austin get their best of 3 underway on Wednesday. The Caps return for Game 2 away in Frisco on Saturday, and we'll see if we're previewing a next round in the not-so-distant future.